Live on a sunny and warm draft day morning in Northeast Ohio. What a day it is. It's the Bull and the Fox with you here, brought to you by Bet Rivers. Dustin, how we doing? Game 3, NFL Draft Day 1. It's a big day in Cleveland.
It is a big day. It's exciting for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's exciting because obviously the NFL draft is today. It's the Super Bowl for Cleveland. It always has been. But honestly, I'm just as excited about the Cavaliers tonight.
Yep.
Trying to take this and make this a 3-0 series. You know what I'm saying? As they go on the road to play Game 3 tonight in Toronto.
And it's going to be a busy day on the podcast, a busy day on UCSS. You see the Cavs favored. We'll get into all of it. We'll be here live for about another 25 minutes. Dustin and I will be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show today from 10 to noon. I will be on the Ultimate Cleveland Draft Show today from 8 to 11. And then when the first round of the draft is over, 11:45, midnight, whatever it is tonight, we will be back on the podcast here live with Bet Rivers to get you covered. So a lot of ways to watch us today. We're excited about that. Before we get into some of it right now, playoff basketball, of course, is underway, as we referenced. And Bet Rivers is helping you take your shot with a first-round bonus bet. Bettors in Ohio can get a $10 bonus bet to use on basketball when you enter the code. You see it right there, ATB413 in the Bet Rivers app. If you don't have the app, download it. If you have it, use it. If you're using it, use the code. The code again is ATB413. Offer ends on April 26th. That's Sunday. So take advantage now. Must be 21 and in Ohio. Eligible players only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-589-9966. You mentioned Cavs and Raptors. Cavs a 3-point favorite on the road tonight. They win the first 2 games. They go and play in Toronto tonight. And tonight will determine whether this is going to be a sweep or the Raptors will make a series of it, because the Cavs took care of their business at home. We'll see if the Raptors can do the same. And we've seen many times, Dustin, in the past, a team dominate at home and then go on the road, and it looks like a different series. We've seen it time and time again. How confident are you in the Cavs not allowing that to happen tonight in Toronto?
Fairly confident, and it has to do more with us as opposed to them. Obviously, their place is a very tough place to play. As you said, I mean, the Cavs have won 12 in a row against the Raptors in the postseason. They've owned them. Now, a lot of that was with LeBron James, and LeBron owned them in Toronto and that whole deal. So, listen, it's going to be a tough matchup. The spread would be higher if everybody felt like this was going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Cavs are going to win this game tonight. The spread being 3.5 kind of makes me like double think it a little bit, because I think it's a little tighter than I would make it if I were an odds maker.
Actually, 3. It's 3 here.
Yeah, it's that tells me that it's moving the other direction too, which worries me a little bit. But no, I watched the first 2 games. I went to game 2. I was very confident with the way we played. We have the best 2 players on the court at pretty much at all times, and when Donovan wants to turn it on when necessary, he can absolutely do that. Now, Evan Mobley is going to have to play great tonight. And the other thing that we talked about yesterday, Bull, on the UCSS show, is that our role players play better at home. They didn't do jack squat in the first couple of games. So we need to get some offensive production from Sam Merrill. We need Dean Wade to probably give us at least a couple more points. Max Strus, he was good in game 1. Needed more out of him in game 2. Need more out of him tonight. I mean, Merrill to me is the one. It's like, is he hurt? Like, because he just doesn't look comfortable out there.
Yeah, and then, he got banged up. He got banged up a few weeks ago, and he said it's not a factor, but it seems like it might be. We'll see as the series goes along. I believe in Max Strus, and the whole Dean Wade thing. Obviously, I'm not a Dean Wade fan, but he is playing a role. There's no doubt about it. His defense has been a difference maker in this series. He has completely shut down Ingram. If he's able to shut down a team's best scorer, then he's worth playing a lot of minutes, even if he doesn't score. Once that's not the case, as it might be against better teams, then he's not. Then he can't be on the floor unless he's shooting a little bit. We talked about it yesterday. Just take 4 or 5 threes, make a couple, and then
he's going to get the open looks, man.
Yeah.
It's to me, when he has the open look and he like thinks about it and then he dishes it off, it just shows a lack of confidence. And so when he does take those threes later in the game and he misses by a million miles, it's like, okay, well, just take the ones early. You know, just get those out of your system and try to get some sort of a rhythm with your shot. And like you said, just make a couple. We'd be thrilled if he made 2 threes a game.
Yeah, and by the way, you said earlier the Cavs have the 2 best players on the court. The reason I think they're going to take care of business now on the road is because right now I think they might have the 3 best players on the court. Because you could argue that Evan Mobley, as good as Brandon Ingram is, as good as Scotty Barnes is, that Evan Mobley's better.
Yeah,
I
can absolutely make that case as well. And Mobley was so assertive, so dominant, just so good. Like, I don't know. To me, that looked like a different Mobley in game 2. And if he carries this over into game 3, and now a lot of it has to do with what Mikey brought up yesterday is that, in this series, Mobley doesn't like Barnes, right? Isn't that the deal? Like,
I don't know if he doesn't like him personally, but
there's a rivalry there.
There's a rivalry, yes.
That actually brings out like the Incredible Hulk out of Evan Mobley. Like, he actually gets like kind of angry and just plays tougher basketball, and I'll take it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's looked great in these first 2 games. I'll be fascinated to see how he plays on the road in Toronto. But I mean, if the Cavs win tonight, I expect them to sweep on Sunday and then get a nice break before you play the next round. We've seen all the other series in the Eastern Conference. We've seen some upsets, right? The Pistons lost. They bounced back, obviously.
I told you they would smoke them last night.
Yeah, you knew that. But 1-1 in that series. The Knicks Hawks is 1-1. And the Celtics Sixers 1-1. So all those series going at least 5 games. We'll see. In fact, the only other teams that haven't lost a series or a game besides the Cavs are the LeBron Lakers and, of course, the Thunder, who are not surprisingly taking care of business against Oklahoma City. Against the Phoenix. So anyway, that's the story. And in addition, when we are on tonight, when we come back on live with you, 11:30 midnight tonight, we'll not only recap day 1 of the draft, but obviously have a lot to say about the Cavs and Raptors. So let's get a couple of comments here real quick. Mr. Chairman of the Board, good morning, Bull. Good morning, Fox.
Good morning.
05er, can any fan tell me why Wade is even on the floor? I know James Harden has a bunch of excuses. Well, Evan 419 gave you the answer. He's held Ingram to 4 points. The truth is, with nobody, it's not like, as much as I've complained about Dean Wade, it's not like anybody else of the role players is forcing his way into the lineup over Dean Wade, and Dean Wade's the best defender of the group, so that's why he's playing. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he is doing his part on the defensive end. He has earned the praise of both Donovan and James Harden after game 2. They were like, hey, man, you got to give Dean Wade some love. Like, he's doing it on the defensive side. You know, he is certainly locking down. And if he can hold whoever he's guarding to half of their average, I mean, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's worth it to have him on the court, even though you're not getting the offensive production, because the plus minus is just, it's still there. Like, he's a benefit to the Cavs to be on the court, at least in this series.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to go going forward, but for this one, it's a good matchup for the Cavs to be able to have him on the court.
Yeah, if he's holding an 18, 20-point scorer to 8 points, 6 points, then he's doing his job. So
God bless you. God bless you. One more?
Thank you. No, only a 2. That's a 2.
Yeah, that's surprising.
That's a 2 for Thursday. Okay, let's switch gears. Today is draft day. The Browns scheduled to pick 6 and 24. Will they pick 6 and 24? Who knows? Before we get into it, let's see what the fans have to say. Evan 419, Drew Aller, no matter what. By the I got a thing on that in just a second, but Larry says happy draft day. Hi, Bull and Fox from Karen. Hi, Bull. Hi, Fox. I'm so excited about the draft. Tell me what is going on with Tanner Bybee. Cavs forever. Go Cavs. Yeah, Tanner Bybee's really struggling.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Why?
I bet the Guardians again yesterday.
Yeah, well,
You said, "Oh, this guy. Who is the guy that started?"
Yeah, he pitched great. Peter Lambert.
Yeah, Lambert. Pete Lambert.
The first good start of his career. Good for him. He did a great job yesterday.
Slappy.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? All right. But Bybee struggled. I really thought he pitched well yesterday. He's just struggling. He said it. He's messed up right now. He's terrible. He admitted it. And he's had one or two good starts, but that's been about it. It's a struggle for him right now. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him. His command is off. Why? I don't know, obviously, but we'll see how he turns it around. But all right, he will. Let's go to the NFL draft, which gets underway tonight. Will the Browns pick at 6? We shall see. By the way, I know Evan 419 is joking about Drew Aller no matter what. I asked Sean King. I had Sean King on the podcast. If you missed it, go check out the podcast yesterday with Sean King. I'll tell you what he had to say. A couple things. First of all, I asked him at one point, besides Mendoza, and we know Simpson's probably going to go late first, second round, whatever. I said, of all the other quarterbacks, who's your sleeper guy? Who's a guy who might become a decent player? And he goes, none of them can play. None of them. He doesn't think any of the quarterbacks behind Simpson in this draft can play in the NFL. So he wouldn't waste a pick on any of them. And he was the first. He said the second the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel, garbage, total wasted pick.
I remember that.
Yeah. He also said he would go with 2 offensive linemen in the first round. He said he would take Monroe Freeling. He said Monroe Freeling is going to be the best tackle in this draft. They should draft him. He might not be the best year 1, but by year 2 or 3, he said everybody's going to be like, why did anybody take a offensive lineman over him? Joe Thomas, by the way, also thinks Monroe Freeling is the best tackle in this draft. So you got a former offensive lineman and a guy who had to be protected by offensive linemen, both saying he's the best guy. And then he said he'd take another offensive lineman later in the draft, that he wouldn't take he'd take a wide receiver at the beginning of the second round, his take. But if you want to hear more from Sean, check it out, yesterday's podcast. Where are you right now? Are you offensive line? Are you wide receiver? Are you trade down? What do you want the Browns to do? What do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to trade down, Bull.
You think so?
I do. I was actually texting with an insider this morning who was a friend of ours from Bull and Fox days. It happens to be this man's birthday today. And he said there's interest in that pick. It's just a matter of, is the partner, the right partner, and is the player on the board that team wants, which is obvious. I mean, stating the obvious, but it's there is a lot of interest in pick number 6 by a lot of teams. It sounds like.
All right, now I know.
I don't want him to trade down, Bull.
Yeah,
I don't want him to trade down.
Yeah, I'd like them to stay at 6. Now, if Monroe Freeling is the guy they really like, maybe they think they can get him at 12. If you trade down, it means there's not one guy you love. There's a few guys, and you think you can get one of them at 12. Again, Sean King said yesterday that Sonny Styles is the guy to keep note of, that if he's available at 6, he thinks teams will want to trade up. Obviously, the Browns have been connected to Dallas at 12. I've seen another mock draft. I don't remember where it was, where the Browns were traded down to the 13th spot. I can't remember who has the 13th pick. It's the Rams. Yeah, this mock draft I saw, the Rams trading up for Jordan Tyson, which I don't know. I wasn't buying that, but also there seems to be some buzz. Who knows? It's all rumors and it could be nonsense at this point. Of the possibility of maybe Jordan Tyson going before Carnell Tate, with folks thinking even though Tate is more reliable and has the higher ceiling or floor, that maybe Tyson has the higher ceiling, that he could ultimately is more likely to become a superstar rather than just a very good player. I don't know how much you've seen of Jordan Tyson. Do you think he has higher upside than Carnell Tate, even though he has a lot more risk?
He probably does have a little more upside. The concern with him has always been like his health. Is he healthy? He's healthy right now. I think he is. I don't know. I mean, I think that he's got a ton of ability that 2 years ago, I watched the guy and I was like blown away by him.
Right.
I just think that there's a lot of fans I think in Cleveland that are making the connection between his brother being here too, and kind of want that to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. I think he's a guy that on any given team could be a for sure number two, like right away, with the potential to be a legitimate number one. And I think Tate's already got the ability to do that. Like the second he walks in,
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
I do not think.
I don't know that I love him more than Tate. No.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I know you always want. Man, I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer right now. Got some allergies kicking up, but I understand. You know, if you think Jordan Tyson could be a superstar, then the upside is tantalizing, but the risk is serious. I mean, he's had a number of injuries. I don't even think he's a sure thing to be great if he's even if he is healthy. Like you might just be a good player. I don't like taking that big a risk at 6. I don't think it's the way to go.
I think that Carnell Tate at 6 is like the cleanest prospect the Browns can take.
He is. I think if I had to bet right now, I'm going to bet that the Browns trade down. I'd like them to stay and pick at 6. If they're confident they could get a player at 12 or 13 or wherever it is they trade down to, that they like as much, then okay, I understand. It makes sense. We don't know what their board looks like, but we know that they like getting extra picks because they need a lot more talent. And so I do think there's a good chance, better than 50% chance, that the Browns will trade down. And I think if that happens, Dustin, if they end up picking it at 12 or 13 instead of 6,
they'll take a lineman there.
They will take a lineman, no 100%. Doubt about it. No 100%. Doubt about it. Now,
you know what? I'm okay with that. If they trade down,
yeah,
like you say, 12 and take a lineman, I'm cool with that. Way more cool with that than them sitting there at 6 and taking a lineman, because I think that it's going to be a little bit of a crapshoot anyway. Might as well pick up some extra picks along the way and still get a high level player who's at the top of the first round, for your offensive line. That's my take on it, partly because the Browns have always swung and missed on offensive linemen, and yeah. I kind of feel like that'll be the case again, even though I don't want it to be the case.
Right.
But it's just that's been their history, and I don't have a lot of faith in Andrew Berry to draft an offensive lineman. It's going to come in and be a capable starter right away.
Yeah. One other thing Sean King said, he does not like Spencer Fano. He does not think the guy's very good. And the problem with him is something you and I have talked about, is that he played tackle and teams are talking about moving him to guard, moving him to center. Like, if you're that good a player, why are you moving positions? I don't want a guy who's changing positions in the top half of the first round.
Totally agree, man. The Browns have always drafted players that have not been, the primary position, what they played in college to what they're going to project to play in the NFL. I don't need a guy that's a right tackle in college coming in trying to be a left tackle. We've tried that before.
Yeah. No, we did it with Jed Wills. Yeah, I don't, and tried to do it with DeJuan Jones, and that was an absolute disaster. So I like the idea. I think I'll be most happy tonight if they draft Carnell Tate at 6. I've been convinced on Monroe Freeling if they go offensive line as the best long-term prospect. I think the only criticism of him is that he hasn't started a lot of games. But, how about the fact that he didn't change teams 13 times? Like,
I love that.
He went. The reason he didn't play more is because they had some highly drafted, upperclassmen ahead of him, and so he didn't play as much because he stayed at Georgia. He learned from some really good players, and he was really good. He only gave up 2 sacks in college playing in the SEC, Dustin.
That's
I think
incredible.
I think he played 18 games or whatever it is. I mean, 2 sacks.
Here's what I love about Freeling, and this is what Joe Thomas is probably looking for, is an athletic left tackle, and he is very, very long. He's got an athletic build. He already looks like an NFL left tackle, and it may take him like a year to develop into the player that you are drafting, but I still think that there is some raw upside there, and his athletic ability is what jumps off the tape to me. And that's why I think that when you draft a left tackle, you're almost drafting like a guy that they could catch passes too. Not that you're going to throw him the football, but
get what you're saying.
That's the type of athlete you want to be able to have at that spot.
And would you have, if the Browns ended up taking 2 offensive linemen in the first round, you okay with that, or you think that's a mistake?
It's hard to say it's a mistake because they need so much offensive line help, and they've had a very good offensive line, so it's hard to criticize that. It's easy to criticize it because we want the toys, right? We want to see the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and all the things that are, go fast and, turn heads. Well, offensive linemen don't turn heads.
Nope.
They're not sexy. They're not picks that are going to overwhelm us tonight. And we'll come on after the first round, and we'll probably be like, womp, womp, womp,
Right.
But it could turn out to be the best thing ever for the Browns because especially if Shedeur Sanders ends up panning out, because if you want to, see what this kid can really do this year, you got to keep him in the pocket and you got to keep him off the turf.
Yeah. The only thing that's, a little weird about taking 2 offensive linemen is they traded for Titus Howard. Now, maybe that second offensive lineman's a guard. Maybe that second offensive lineman's a center. I don't know. I guess anything's possible, but I like the idea of a wide receiver. In a perfect world, a wide receiver and an offensive lineman in the first round. I wouldn't have a problem, if they took a defensive player with the second pick, if they took a corner or, I don't know. There appear to be some good corners in this draft. I don't know how far they're going to drop some of these guys, but anyway, I think my best guess is the Browns trade down. I say they trade down to 12. The Cowboys move up. The Browns take Freeling at 12. And then at 24, or maybe they move up because the Cowboys have 2 picks. Maybe they end up getting that 20th pick. And I say they take, if Mekhi Lemon is still available or Tyson is available at 20 or 24, then maybe that's not realistic on either of those guys. Then I say they take one of those guys there. That's my prediction. And if those guys are not there, then maybe they go defense with that second pick, depending on where it is. And I know if the Browns don't get a wide receiver in the first round, there's going to be a lot of disappointment from fans. And I get it.
I would be shocked if they don't have a receiver on their roster tonight at midnight when we come on the air.
I don't know, man. The Browns like to throw you curveballs. They don't usually do what we expect them to do. None of us predicted Mason Graham last year after a trade down.
Let's spend 2 minutes on Ty Simpson.
Okay.
Would you be upset if the Browns drafted him tonight?
So I've mentioned Sean King a bunch of times because I like Sean King a lot. He knows the game really well. He knows quarterback really well. And Sean said to me, I was talking to him about Ty Simpson, and Sean said Ty Simpson has the potential to be a good quarterback in the NFL. But if he goes to the Browns, he's not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL because he is not ready to play. And he's going to play too soon. And he believes Ty Simpson is a quarterback that has to sit and learn for a couple of years. So if Ty Simpson ends up with the Rams, the Chiefs, or one of these teams that has a veteran quarterback where he could sit and learn, then he thinks he has a chance. And I haven't seen enough of Ty Simpson. I know there was a lot of inconsistency from him, obviously, last year. He was dealing with some injury. He hasn't played a ton of games. So I would be very concerned. I don't think Ty Simpson to the Browns makes a lot of sense. So I would not draft him. And I don't, maybe this new coaching staff can do a better job developing players. And so maybe they could develop him. But if they drafted Ty Simpson in the first round, he's going to play sooner rather than later. And that probably doesn't bode well for the Browns or him. What about you?
I don't think that they'll take him.
Yeah.
If they do, then it spells the end of Shedeur for sure.
Yeah.
It spells the end of everybody who's in that quarterback room right now. This would have to be a situation where Todd Monken is in love with this guy and says, he's pounding the table for Ty Simpson and says, this guy's going to be able to run my offense and he's going to be the future franchise quarterback. That
Yeah.
to me is the only way that they would end up with him.
Exactly.
Like Monken is absolutely in love with this guy's traits, which he has. He has a live arm. He has a ton of talent. He's a super smart kid. But as you said, Bull, limited reps.
Yeah.
And at the end of last season, yes, he was marred by injury, was not quite himself. If you watch that, was it the Rose Bowl against Indiana? And he was dog shit in that game, to say it bluntly. I mean, and we learned after the fact. I mean, the guy was playing really, really hurt. But that's the lasting image in my mind is how they got boat raced by the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I would not love it if they drafted Ty Simpson. So perfect world, wide receiver and tackle. I think that's what happens tonight, but I could definitely see a scenario where it's offensive line and defense, and then they get the wide receiver at the top of the second round tomorrow. We shall see. Folks, Dustin and I, along with Jason Lloyd, will be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show today from 10 to noon. Myself, Jason Lloyd, and G. Bush will be in the Ultimate Cleveland Draft Show today from 8 to 11. And then Dustin and I will be back together here in the bullpen with Bet Rivers. Start it. We'll let you know what time, but pretty much when the draft ends. Could be 11:30, could be midnight. We shall see. So we'll be back later tonight. Until then, thanks to Drew and Ernie for producing. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. We'll talk to you later today. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Bull and Fox, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See ya.
See ya.